Welcome to The Perspective. I'm Nate G alongside C. Towns and alongside Mr. Ed. And again, I want to remind everybody to please comment, share, like, and subscribe. But back to business, y'all. We got to get into this this game last night between OKC and Houston Rockets. 2 MVP candidates. Going at it, shot for shot.
Crazy.
Did Paul George really put up 45, 12, and 22?
But think about this. Think ahead. Talk about the percentage. Paul George, 12 of 22 from the field goal, 6 of 14 from the three-point line, 15 of 18 from the free throw line. Wow. Paul George, 11 boards.
45 points.
Paul George was on a whole nother level last night. Pulling up from anywhere. It was crazy. And then on the other side, for a minute there, it was just Paul George against James Harden.
Yeah.
And it was amazing.
42 points, James Harden. Wasn't that much efficient, 11 to 28 from the field, but still had 42.
14 to 15 from the free throw line for James Harden. It was just crazy.
But, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I must have my man to my right, C. Towns.
What?
Admit to the prospective audience, to the fan base, that who's gonna win the MVP this year, bro? Who's gonna win it? Who's gonna win it, bro? Me and you had a conversation last night.
And what did I say?
And you said you were going to admit to the prospective audience that James Harden
maintains.
Oh, he's gonna maintain it.
I even said it.
He's gonna maintain it because you said it yourself.
I said
ever since Chris Paul has been inserted back into the lineup, he's still been putting up crazy numbers. So, bro, get it out of the way now, bro. Get it out of the way. Eat some humble pie and admit to the audience.
Chris Paul only shot the ball 12 times.
Yeah, 18 points.
Because he's not going to get in the way of James Harden.
And also, too, we got to wait for Clint Capella to come back. I'm telling you, bro. Again, I'm not rooting against him. If he
it's inevitable, bro. It's inevitable. It's inevitable.
Well, my thing is this. I never said he wouldn't. I said if he maintains this, yes, he'll win MVP. But my main argument was,
how many games? Like 20 games? 20?
He has to maintain it.
Yeah, bro.
He has to. Because at the end of the day, and at the end of the day, what was my main gripe about James Harden? You can say what you want about all those points. He shot 39%.
Doesn't matter. He has to. He has to. If he's not jacking, if he's not scoring 45 a night, they're out of the playoff race, and they're in the bottom half of the Western Conference. If he's not putting 45 a night, if he's not scoring 45 a night,
bro,
and that's keeping it a whole beam.
Did they win? They lost.
Okay, they're not gonna win every single game.
Bro, you can't have a shooting percentage like that. Put it like this. Hold up. And you know what? I'm happy you brought this up. You know why? Because your favorite player of all time even has something to say about him. Did you see it?
Yeah, Kobe. Yeah.
Kobe being Bryant.
Yeah. He said they're not gonna win a championship.
There's no way that you're gonna get
Hold on. Let's talk about the entire conversation that he had with T-Mac and Kobe.
Yeah.
Kobe said yes. The Rockets are not gonna win a championship with the way James Harden is playing. Championship. But he said on the flip side of that,
he's playing great.
He's still James Harden, this is what I'm saying. James Harden has to keep his head. James Harden has to keep the team's head above water by playing the way that he's playing.
So wait. So you think
by keeping them in the playoff race? If he's not scoring the ball the way that he's scoring, they're not even in the playoffs.
Let's think about this for a second, guys. Stop it.
Stop it. What?
If you play 82 games a specific way all season, you think it's going to just change in the playoffs?
Well, look, we're going to see when Capella come back.
Bro, Capella's going to come back.
And that was my point.
If it's shooting percentage.
Regular season MVP. James Harden's going to get it. But when Clint Capella comes back, and then Chris Paul has gotten acclimated back into the offense, as well as James Harden's still doing his thing, in the playoffs, we'll see what happens. But like I said, Kobe Bryant said that James Harden had to play like this to keep the team's head above water, to keep them in playoff contention. He has to put up these shots, bro. There's nobody else he can defer the ball to. Now, Chris Paul is back, so he doesn't have to shoot as much. But even Chris Paul's like, you know what? James Harden, do your thing, bro. I am not going to mess with the way that you've been playing right now. I'm going to just defer to you. You do your thing.
You a Kobe Bryant fan?
Oh, the Black Mamba all day.
No. I mean, I like Kobe Bryant, but I mean, Where's he fit in your list of greatest players of all time?
Okay, we're going off topic a little bit, but okay.
I'm not off topic. I'm just saying.
No, I mean, if we was talking about Kobe, all right. I'm not gonna lie to you. Kobe, I'm biased. Kobe Bryant is my favorite player of all time. He's the best player that I've ever seen. I'm not gonna lie, I'm biased. I love Kobe. I grew up watching Kobe Bryant as a small child.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Kobe Bryant, the Black Mamba. The game has not been the same since he retired. I think we all can agree on that. In my opinion. I don't.
Nah, I can't sign.
C Towns is LeBron all day, but even C Towns will admit to you that the game has not been the same without Kobe Bryant being in it.
Nah.
C Towns will admit that.
I can't sign.
Wow.
Not like Kobe Bryant.
Wow, bro. The Black Mamba.
I feel like Mr. Ed only feels that way solely off of the fact, are you weighing...
Michael Jordan.
Not even that. Are you weighing in like the last, 4 seasons of Kobe Bryant?
Yeah. Injuries and...
No. I watched Kobe Bryant. Y'all the young boys.
I wasn't saying that. I'm just saying, were you already checking out of Kobe Bryant during his last couple years?
No. I always like Kobe, but like one of the things that you say about shooting percentage, I looked at Kobe and the guy who I guess Kobe would be most compared to, Jordan, and the shooting percentage is
way different.
Way different.
I didn't know Kobe was that bad.
All right, but we've never.
I did.
He came, but he was never. He was never
that era of players, right? He's not alone. That whole era of players, AI, all of them shot low shooting percentages, scored a lot of points, and won a lot of games. Right. And I liked them and I enjoyed them, but their shooting percentage always bothered me. And just like when he's talking about James Harden. As great as he is, all the numbers he's putting up, his shooting percentage
is trash.
Yeah, he's not efficient.
You know, AI's best seasons, he was in the low 40s at best. And those were great seasons.
Allen Iverson's MVP season, he shot 42%.
Yeah. And most of his career, he was below that.
And bro, that's my point. Like, you don't have to be efficient to win the MVP. You don't. It's all about scoring.
1 year, but mainly because he had the Sixers winning. They were.
He took them all to
the finals.
Yeah, but
they had to build a team around him where all the other dudes did was play defense and rebound his missed shots.
Bro, the Rockets are only 7.5 games back. That's not a lot.
They're not finishing.
I mean, they're not gonna be top 3, but bro, they're not 6, 7, 8. They're not.
But I'm just saying,
back, only 7.5 back.
And that's why you love Harden. You don't mind the dude that shoots.
Yeah, I do.
I love a killer. I love a killer. James Harden, Kobe Bryant, yeah. Those are my kind of guys. James Harden, Kobe Bryant, killers. They want to put up 50 a night. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. That's always been like my kind of play.
I saw dudes, and I'm older than you guys, but I saw guys put up 50 a night and shot a better percentage.
Exactly. Like, think about this, bro. James Harden scored 42 points off 28 attempts. Paul George scored 45 points off 22 shot attempts.
Yeah, he's not efficient.
Like, Paul George was 54.5% from the field. Like, that's...
But like what makes it, and I said it before in a previous video, what makes it so amazing what James Harden is doing is I don't understand what the scouting report is on this man. Like, bro, he's had 30+ games straight with 30+ points. Like, when he comes when he crosses the half court.
I understand. My amazement. This is amazing, right? Jordan, Chicago Bulls.
Talk about it.
1985, 1986.
Talk about it, Mr. Ed.
There is no other player on there worth even thinking about guard. He playing with guys like Granville Waiters, who when we played, he was considered to be the worst player in the NBA, and he was one of the bigger names on that team.
I mean, we're talking about the best player of all time.
I'm just saying, by himself, averaging 36 points a game. Yep. What's the scout report? He the only man on the team you got to guard.
Yeah.
You couldn't stop him. And his shoot percentage was 50+.
Exactly. And see, that was my whole thing. Like,
but bro,
we were just talking about Kobe Bryant. Everybody was so ecstatic for that last game. Hurrah.
60.
He put up 60.
Against Utah. I watched that game. I was hyped. I was hyped. Yeah, bro, what are you, 18 for 38 or something like that?
Bro, he shot the ball so many times. It was ridiculous. At a certain point, you have to put up those points. Yeah. If you shoot the ball 28 times, you better give me 40. Because it's not like you only get 1 point per shot. No, you're getting 2 points and 3 points per shot.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. If I was, and this is why.
Not that Harden might not to say that he's not going to win it. We don't know, right? You got to come.
But if he doesn't, and they say that's the reason,
I'm
you
just
have to
saying,
respect it.
as much as I like James Harden, I'm a big fan of his. At the end of the day, his scoring and what he's doing is phenomenal. His shooting percentage is horrible. So even if as a team they got to figure out a way to get him better shots, get other players involved, and that injury had played a part in that. But as guys come back healthy, Capella, who shoots a high percentage, we get him involved.
Exactly.
They have to.
Capella was doing real good before he got hurt.
Yeah. So,
but that's what's crazy to me is like the fact that the shooting percentage is so bad and he's so inefficient, and he's still able to put up all these numbers. Like,
well, we
he's
just
still
gave you examples.
We know why he's
examples of
Allen Iverson had to do it.
Yeah, he had to do it.
Allen Iverson averaged 27 shot attempts for a season.
But that's my point. Like, if I knew that the NBA voters took that into consideration as far as your efficiency goes, I wouldn't have said James Harden was going to win MVP. Because
everything matters.
In 2001.
Like, you got to think. But think about how many years Allen Iverson played, and how many MVPs does he have?
One, and that's because he
carried them. MVPs don't go off.
He carried them to the championship.
Yeah, and they were the top seed.
Well, no, it's a regular. They hand out that award before the playoffs start, right? That's a regular season award, right? It was a regular season award. They didn't know that he was going to go to the finals.
They were like number 1 and number 2 in the league heading into the playoffs.
Still not. He's still, even though he's
if it wasn't for whatchamacallit injuring his hand.
The 76ers were 56-26 the year he won MVP.
Okay.
They were the number 1 seed.
As a matter of fact, if whatchamacallit doesn't hurt his wrist and they have to make the trade for Mutombo, I think they win, because the difference between the two players was Mutombo had to play close to the basket, which kept Shaq on defense close to the basket. And what happens is, with Shaq and defense, their team was predicated on a lot of guys that could drive. And then they were stuck trying to just shoot jumpers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because Shaq was right there, you wasn't going to just drive to the hole.
You had to shoot. You had to shoot to win.
But and also, too, sorry to cut you off, and just say this. If James Harden, say he continues this for the rest of the season, is this season, I'm going to say, more spectacular, or at least on the same level of Russell Westbrook's MVP year? And it's the reason why I'm asking that.
No, because Russell Westbrook literally averaged a triple-double.
Okay. Do you realize... Let's think about this. It took for him to average a triple-double to win that MVP Finals, but do you know why?
The first is Oscar Robertson.
Your boy Oscar. Let me finish. But do you know why he got it for averaging that triple-double? Well, Russell Westbrook was the only player in NBA history to win MVP and their team not being in the top 4.
Bro, because he averaged a triple-double, bro.
And that's, so, the Rockets...
The first is Oscar Robertson, like 1965 or something like that.
Let me finish. If the season ends where it stands, is this season okay for James Harden to win MVP and not be in the top 4?
I said yes.
But, bro, you hear, don't just say yes to say yes.
I'm not. He's having a historic season. He has 30 straight.
I just asked you a question.
Bro, he's broken so many records.
All right.
Are you serious?
Again, didn't I just ask him the question? I felt like you didn't listen to the answer. Is this on the same level of Russell Westbrook's triple-dub season when he won MVP?
Bro.
If it's not on the same level...
It's not... No.
Okay.
No.
But hear me out. If it's not on the same...
No. I can't use those words. I can't say... I feel like it's different. He averaged a triple-double, and, bro, all those stats that I laid out like a couple shows ago, I forget all the numbers that I laid out, of all the points he was scoring unassisted, the most amount of points that any player has ever scored unassisted without the ball being passed to him creating all of the offense, him having 30 straight games with 30-plus points. Paul George is having an amazing year. He only has 11 straight games with 30-plus points. James Harden has been doing it half of the season.
But did you hear what I said?
Bro,
only one player.
They both.
Hold on. Only one player has only won the MVP outside of the 4th seed, and that's Russell Westbrook, because he averaged a triple-double. If it's not as historically great as averaging a triple-double,
then that means the likelihood that he'll win
exactly is less.
Is not in the top 4.
That's all I'm saying. Think about that. That's a big deal.
Can LeBron James win the MVP every year? Should LeBron James win the MVP every year? Yes. Does he? No. Should Steph Curry probably win the MVP every year? Does he? No. The MVP voters look to see, like...
So, hold on. Who he's up against right now, right? Think about this. Paul George is having a great year. he has, I'm going to say him, he has the Thunder at the 3rd seed. The other player that's up for MVP, who's been killing it, has the Milwaukee Bucks, who none of us picked to be the top seed in the East.
I know, but they're not putting up the same numbers.
Bro, it's too many variables, and that's
they're
my
not putting up the same numbers.
But they don't have.
He's having an historic season.
You don't have to. That's my point.
That's why he's in the conversation.
Exactly.
But that don't mean he'll win it.
Then that was my whole point. No player. Again, I'm gonna repeat it again. No player has ever won MVP outside of the 4th seed.
Yeah.
So do you
I think that might be an exception this year, bro. I do.
And that's why I asked. Is it on the same level?
I think it might be an exception.
I mean, maybe.
It's not on the same level. I think both achievements are different, but both achievements are great.
Because if that's the case, why isn't Russell Westbrook in the conversation? Because this will be his 3rd year straight. He just broke the record for most consecutive.
2nd year straight.
No, he averaged a triple-double last season.
Yeah, didn't he win MVP last year?
No,
he won it
2 years ago.
Who won last
James
year?
Harden won last year.
Yeah.
So,
2 years ago, yeah.
Not only get this, my thing is this: Russell Westbrook is having a horrible shooting percentage. Everybody talks about it. Oh, shooting is terrible. Just as bad as James Harden. But he's
not scoring as much.
He just broke the record for most consecutive games with the triple-double. And he'll have a 3rd year in a row of triple-doubles?
He's now, if he finishes this year with a triple-double, he's now truly in Oscar Robertson's territory.
Oh, yeah.
Because Oscar Robertson...
What, 6 straight years, something like that?
Almost, yeah.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
So he's really...
That's my whole thing. But the reason why they're not going to give it to him is because it's old now. It's like, all right, triple-doubles
and that's what I'm saying. Bro, we all know.
Why James Harden, if they don't give him MVP... is because we've seen scores like that with horrible shooting percentages. Allen Iverson did it.
Yeah.
Only won MVP once. James Harden just won last year.
We all know how the NBA is. The NBA is not fair, honestly. Well, sometimes it's fair and most times it's not. Like, they'll pick and choose who they're going to give the MVP to for whoever reason. When was the last time we had back-to-back MVPs? Was it Steph Curry? Mm-hmm. Well, 3 years ago, 4 years ago? It's been a long time. Yeah. So the NBA's gonna be like, you know what? James Harden had a crazy...
They want to spread it around?
Yeah. Or, spread it around. Or, you know what? It's been a while since we had an MVP go back-to-back. We'll give it to James Harden because he's having a historic year after having a crazy year last year with Clint Capella being out and with Chris Paul being out. You know what I'm saying? And he's keeping this team above water.
It's a lot to ask for. And that I wish we could be in that room to just hear the votes. I don't even need a vote. Let me hear the votes because I want to hear the arguments that they would say.
What's the criteria?
What's the criteria? It's that are they really going to allow? Because yes, the positive, he's having the most consecutive games of 30 plus points, right?
Yeah.
But that's one positive. He has a lot of negatives. Worst shooting percentage. A team outside of the top 4 seeds, which obviously is a requirement because nobody's done it since Russell Westbrook, and they talked about it when Russell Westbrook won the
chip.
Those two negatives.
Whose record did he break for most consecutive?
Most consecutive?
Yeah.
It was
Wilt's record?
I think it was Wilt.
So the NBA voters set the precedent by allowing a player to win MVP. While finishing outside of the top 4, right? So the president has already been broken. So,
no.
So
no, that's not true.
So why not give it to James Harden?
No, listen.
They already set the precedent, bro.
They allowed the negative. They put it like this. They allowed that one negative to go away because he had the one positive, which was averaging a triple-double all year.
Hadn't been seen
since like
50-some years or whatever.
Yeah. Like, that was a positive for a negative.
Right.
James Harden has 2 negatives.
We've never seen a player score 30 points in 30 straight games.
He has 2 negatives.
Right, but 2 positives.
No, there's no 2 positives.
2 positives.
One.
No, there's 2 positives. We never seen a player like James Harden score 30 points in 30-plus games before, as well as how many points he scored this season unassisted, bro. That is so hard to do.
That's not.
Nah, bro. That's huge.
Reaching. Nobody
that's not reaching at all. That is amazing.
That's reaching.
Oh no, it's not. No, it's not, dog. That's a huge stat.
No,
it's never been done in the history of the game.
That's like saying that if that's the case, Klay Thompson should be in MVP voting because he scores the most points without dribbling. That's a reaching stat, bro.
He still has more points though. James Harden still has more points.
That's a
James Harden still has more.
What's harder? Scoring unassistedly or scoring without dribbling the ball?
Playing with Steph Curry and KD. Are we going down this road again, Mr. Ed? Are we really going down this road again? Are we really doing this again?
Listen,
is that reaching?
Those are reaches.
Exactly. They're both reaches.
And like I said, see Towns, when the MVP, when the MVP voting comes down, breaking news: James Harden has become back-to-back MVPs. To Steph Curry did it a couple years ago. I want you to look at the crowd. I want you to look at the crowd and tell the prospective fans, hey, Nate G was correct. He was right all along.
I'll be shocked.
James Harden won the MVP.
It doesn't make to me. It just. I'll be shocked if they let him win. If he maintains this shooting percentage.
They set the precedent, bro. They allowed they allowed a player to finish outside of the top 4.
Triple-double.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think I think Paul George wins this if he continues.
If Paul George continues this and OKC ends in the second seed, I'm sorry. I'll vote for PG. I think that don't even make sense.
I think he gets it.
My man went from Steph Curry to Paul George now.
Well, no,
who's gonna be next? Greek Freak? No. Who's gonna be next? Greek Freak?
No,
you said Steph Curry was gonna win it. Now you say Paul George. I guess gonna say Greek Freak next.
Steph Curry, to me, Steph Curry is going to fall into that LeBron James category.
Yeah, we can give it to him every year, but you got to be fair.
No matter how good of a season Steph Curry
you can't give it to the same person every year.
So, but I mean, it's not even that. It's just the fact that what he does is not extraordinary anymore. It's
a standard. Norm. It's a standard.
We see him do it it's not blowing my mind. He's
right.
I expect,
Steph.
Unless he can step it up past that.
Right.
And then the way I look at it is, Paul George has been.
Yeah, he's been lights out, man. He's been unbelievable. Paul George has been unfreaking believable. And we said it how many times? It's unbelievable that he's playing the way that he's playing, coming off of that horrendous, graphic, terrible leg injury a couple years back. I mean, it's unbelievable what he's doing this season. Unbelievable.
Because it's definitely him and, I ain't gonna lie, him and James Harden going at it, I can't wait for the playoffs. I gotta see OKC and the Rockets go at it, because
these playoffs, Eastern Conference Finals, Eastern playoffs and Western playoffs,
outside
of amazing.
It'll be amazing. Because once the finals hit,
I can't wait till that comes and we do our show on them.
Listen, y'all better stay tuned for them playoff videos. Y'all better stay tuned because we're gonna be breaking down every game.
We got All-Star Weekend next weekend, guys.
All-Star Weekend coming up. So y'all better stay tuned.
We're gonna go live.
Yeah.
Through all those events.
Yeah. And we want to let the prospective fans know that Nate G, C Towns, Mr. Ed, we're going to start going live a lot more often as well. So whether we
got to get it out.
Right. Whether we're by ourselves or whether we're together, we're going to be going live. So make sure that y'all
tune in,
comment, like, share, subscribe, all that. And watch.